Welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of our recap of Pyanodons on Twitch. So, I guess we're gonna do this the same time as we did last time, because I kind of like that. We're literally going to highlight the things that we did, because it seems every time on stream I just forget to put down lamps. And let's maybe start with the most important factory ever, the absolute most important factory we could ever build, an actual lamp factory. Oh, perfect, science done. We have a nice little lamp factory over here, because we do need lamps for crafting. If you take a look at your FNEI or at any other place where you can look up recipes, lamps are actually used in quite a couple of recipes, which is astonishing. Now, some of these, we need them for secondary crushers. What the hell? Now, the recipe where we're going to need it for is going to be for the Zogna bacteria. That's why we did them, but there are quite a bit of recipes in here where we do need lamps, and you will be needing lamps pretty much everywhere. In the last playthrough we did, we had a massive lamp factory that was pushing out 300 lamps per second in a fully beacon build. It was madness. It was magnificent. It ate so many resources. Either way, we made a lamp factory today on stream, and I'm very happy about this. We also made this over here a bit more of a chaotic train station. Yeah, this works like this. This is intended. This is how we do trains. We just do pure chaos. I don't really care much about it, to be perfectly honest. But the most important part over here is also this train station over here, which is a hot air train station, which means we can now also push our hot air around. We're not really making a lot of hot air yet. This place over here is making hot air as fast as it can, but our hot air production is not really up to code yet. So we can't really use it for a lot of things yet, but we can use it for a couple. Now, what do we use the hot air for? Well, there's only one station at the moment that eats it. So let's try to drive over there as we wait for the rail track to go over here to become free. By the way, the whole way the train system over here works, it's all more or less two-way track. So trains can go either direction on the track, but only one train can be on the main track at a time. It's not really the most optimal solution, but if you don't really have a lot of train traffic going around yet, then it's a very easy solution, because the only thing you need to do is just place a rail signal at the beginning and a chain signal at the beginning and a rail signal at the end of every station, and it more or less just solves itself, which is kind of nice. Now, there are, of course, some specialities. For example, this train over here just went up, which means this pump over here is now completely free for us to barrel down over here and go to the place where the hot air needs to be. Good. Let's see, did we change anything over there? We did make a creosote station over there. We can talk more about that soon, because we made a whole bunch of stations because we need to push a whole bunch of stuff around. And why do we need to push a whole bunch of stuff around? Well, let me show you the most magnificent thing ever. Not the moss farm, ignore that. Not the seaweed, ignore that. Ah, there it is. There it is. It is our grandiose poop machine. Yes! We have finally made the first of two poop machines. We've got some augs over here, and these augs over here are non-stop pooping on belts, and we need that poop to make, well, we need the poop to make construction pots. We're literally making poop golems. Well, not really poop golems, but they do make a very important step of everything. Now, you might already notice that we have already prepared over here our belts over here in a very specific way. Currently, we are going, if we go back to the poop recipe over here, we are currently using the most simple recipe we can do for the augs, which is just water, flowers, and some moss. And that is going to be turned in manure. We already have access to the next recipe, which is give them also some aug food. And you can already see not only does the amount of poop increase, the time also decreases for them to go, well, to shit on the belt. And further down we go, the more advanced recipes we will find. Oh, there they were. We can at some point in time add bedding to it, sap, and raw fiber, and then it will increase even more. So that's where these belts come in. And what we basically did is we went all the way to the final recipe, which, is there another one in here? Let me just quick check real quick. No, there's not. So the final recipe is going to be this one over here, which is only 20 seconds crafting time, takes native flora, takes bedding, takes sap, takes raw fiber, takes quality aug fruit and some moss. And then it makes quite a lot of the brown gold. And it's literally brown gold because you can't take the manure, you can't turn it into liquid manure, you can turn the liquid manure into depolymerized organics, and then you can take the depolymerized organics, turn it into zoot, as well as some shale oil, steam, and tailings. And you tend to take the zoot and you can turn that into gold. So we can quite literally make a poop to gold machine at some point in time. Sadly, we don't have the technology for it yet, but we could turn all of this poop into gold. Good, but what do we need all this manure for? Well, sorry about that. We mostly need it over here to make melamine. We got over here our melamine processor. Over here, this is the moss that we need to be used down here. The flowers are coming from a flower field right next door. We just built it close by over here because there was a flower field over there. And if we need more flowers, we can get them from... there's probably a flower field around here somewhere. I do know that there's one all the way over here with 9 million. That should probably be fine for a while. Good, 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 good. So this over here is just your basic moss farm. Nothing special over there. We do have a stone train over there, bringing in the stone. But then over here, ooh, let me use my highlighting tool again. There we go. There we go. I should do this more often in the dark. Lovely, lovely. Here, shine bright like a diamond, please. We've got over here our fully functional melamine making machine. Okay, we need a little bit more funky lamps over there, but that will be fine. That will be fine. A little bit like that. There we go. Over there, over there. So how do we make the melamine? Well, let's maybe start off with that. We go back all the way over here to step number 1, and that is over here with this bioreactor, which takes in the manure, takes in some water, and turns it, of course, into liquid manure. Then the liquid manure over here, we can cook it up with some Zogna bacteria straight up into urea. Now, the Zogna bacteria, that is where this build on top comes from. We make the Zogna bacteria over here, and to make the Zogna bacteria, we need wood, lamp, petri dishes, and pressurized air. The pressurized air is quite easy to get. A single pump over here will do all the pressurized air that you need, so there's no worries there. The petri dishes, the lamps, and the wood, that was a little bit more complicated. And over here, we can now see when we have a lamp factory. We import the lamps right over there, and we use them over here. As for the petri dishes, I'm actually kind of concerned that... Oh, it's not moving because it's backed up. Okay. We make the petri dishes on site. We're lucky that we have a quartz belt over here. So what we did is we just took in the quartz, crushed it, cooked it up into glass, and then take the glass and cook it up with some hot air. And it's very important over here that you do use hot air into some petri dishes. Why is it important to use hot air over here? Well, let's have a look at that. There's only 2 ways to make petri dishes. I was kind of hoping that maybe it was still on the right recipe. But let's have a look real quick. Petri dish. There we go. Craft. Yeah, there's only 2 ways to make a petri dish. You can either use 50 molten glass to make 1 petri dish every 3 seconds, or you take 50 molten glass, add 50 hot air to it, and you make 2 empty petri dishes every 3 seconds. It's basically doubling down your production. Hot air over here is a very good use. Usually, hot air only increases the production by, I think, 20 or 25%. It's a little bit wonky every now and then. But since this gets rounded up to a full 2, yeah, you get quite a bit of bang for your buck over here. Definitely, absolutely use hot air over here. Good. Now, there's obviously one problem. These glass works over here, they do require liquid power. Kerosene we're using, and that's where our kerosene machine over here comes in. This place over here is non-stop making things like... Oh, it's almost empty. That's going fast. It's non-stop making things like gasoline, kerosene, and aromatics. And we are going to use this for liquid power. Now, we do have an idea, or at least a theory, how we could maybe just use any kind of liquid power over here. I was kind of hoping that we could wire up... Well, we don't really need to wire up anything, but these tanks over here at some point will be empty. And then we will only have this tank, which means at some point in time a train could show up and we could empty out the train contents into these 2 tanks. And then I kind of just hope that maybe with a bit of smart wiring or maybe something else, maybe just by pure processing, we can replace the liquids in this pipe, because that's going to be very much important, because I don't really want to focus my whole liquid power system on one liquid. I kind of want to have multiple liquids in the liquid power system, so that whenever station demands liquid power, we can just send over any of the valuable high energy liquids. For example, diesel would be good. Even coke oven gas is a good idea. In the previous playthrough, we basically fired up everything with benzene, but I don't think that benzene has an energy value anymore. No, benzene has no energy value anymore. That's gone. But there's also other good targets, like, let's have a look. Yeah, kerosene is very good. Gasoline is very good. Fuel oil has not a lot of energy value, but I think if remembered correctly, you can make this quite easily. So you do get quite a lot of it. But yes, and methanol. Methanol is also pretty darn good. But, oh no, benzene still has value. There we go, I just didn't see it. Good, 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 good. Either way, that's fine. Nevertheless, we are making the petri dishes over there. And of course, we need to fill the petri dishes over here with some agar. And that's where these two come in. These two over here cook up some agar. For that, we need some seaweed. And it's 2 seaweed plants per high pressure furnace. So we need 4 of these. And then we just smack it all together and we get our petri dish, which we then just plonk in over here into this machine. And now the wood is actually quite funny. We already have all of these pollution eating machines over here. We have all these wood farms over here, just non-stop making wood to just consume pollution over here. And what we are currently just doing is we just priority output the wood all the way over here into where we make the Zogna bacteria, so that we just have the wood over here. And if this would back up, and it will probably back up at some point in time, then we just go back to our standard power sink over here and just sink it into power, which I think is perfectly fine. That's absolutely fine. So we can just use the wood that is already around over here to make the Zogna bacteria. Perfect. Then, one thing that's really, really nice over here, the clock speed or the recipe speed for all of these recipes is the same. We need 8 seconds to craft 10 manure into 100 liquid manure. Then over here, we need 8 seconds to craft 100 liquid manure into 30 urea. And then over here, we need 8 seconds to craft 20 urea into ammonia and cyanide. Which means this over here is a 1 to 1.5 ratio, or in our case, a 2 to 3 ratio. So we have 3 of these over here, non-stop making ammonia and cyanide. Currently, of course, the whole process is stopped because I think everything's backed up. Yeah, everything's backed up. Even the melamine is over here is backed up. So we need to just add a little bit of consumption over here, else nothing will be happening. And then, of course, the final step is take some water, take the cyanic acid, take the ammonia, smack it together, and suddenly we have melamine. Cool, cool, cool. Now, what do we need the melamine for? Well, the melamine is part of batteries. If we have a look at our construction bots, where are they? Where are they actually? Are they over here? Yeah, they are. Construction bots. This is what we need to do to make construction bots. Steel, no problem. We have that. Steam engines. I'm not quite sure where they are in the construction bot, but sure. We can stick a steam engine in there. Intermetallics, done. Gearboxes. The fish farm is not done yet, but we can make gearboxes. We have built gearboxes already. We would probably still need to put in some efforts to make gearboxes. But yeah, gearboxes, I don't really see that as a big issue. Batteries, that's where the melamine comes in. But let's have a look at the rest of the recipe. Simple circuit boards, that's basically done. Belts, done. Small parts, done. Aluminum, done. Solder, done. And more fish oil. Yeah, we definitely were going to be building a fish farm next. And then over here, of course, the batteries. Now, the batteries, they require cyanic acid. That's what we have over here. So we're just going to tap some more cyanic acid over here. It will mean that we are going to back up an ammonia. And there's one issue with that. There's currently not a good recipe for ammonia that we can use. So we're probably going to just push it into a big tank. And that tank will probably overflow at some point in time. And then we just have to vent it. I really hate doing that. I don't really want to vent stuff. But if we really have no consumption for it, then we just have to vent it, which I just kind of hate. Nevertheless, cyanic acid, zinc plate, we have that. Glass, yes. Bolts, easy. Graphite, done. Melamine, there it is. And the last part over there is the lead antimony alloy. And that's just take some lead plate, take some antimony oxide, and smack it together. And if you remember, a couple episodes ago, we have antimony oxide over here. Now, this place over here, I think I kind of completely and utterly misbuilt it. We're going to rebuild the processing step over here. We're probably going to rebuild it over there. so that we actually can use the full belt that's coming out of there. Maybe I'm not quite sure what happened over here. We built this pretty bad. It's pretty bad. We are just going to rebuild it in a nicer way so that we can make use of all the antimony oxide over there. And we probably also, it's still 1.3 million. It should be fine. There's more antimony over there, and we can keep the process over here. Maybe later on we just send more in via train or something like that. We will have to see. We will have to see. Good, but that is then just combine all of that together. The antimony oxide is already moving over here. We already use the antimony oxide all the way over here to make our intermetallics, to make our iron antimony nexalate alloy, and the vitro, whatever the fuck this is. Yeah, we do that over there. And it's also backing up over here already. Very nice. Good. So that was the big poop build. Now, as you can see, I still have to build the other half, but putting all this belt and all this underground is kind of annoying, so I'm just going to wait until the bots are there. Then I'm going to do that with the bots. But that's not the only thing we did, and you might have already spotted it. If you have a really big eagle eye, we got some medium power poles in here. And we can now finally make medium power poles. We could already make medium power poles for a while, but we had one requirement missing, and that is the chromium. So at some point in time, I thought to myself, okay, if we're going to make a big poop farm, we might as well also make the better power poles, because we're going to need them. And that's where this place comes in, and that's also where the creosote train comes in, because over here, we are mining up our chromium. And chromium is just basic liquid mining or fluid mining over here. You need to put some syngas in, and it has a hardness of 2. So you will need, for a yellow belt, you will need 30 miners. So that's quite a lot of miners. And over here, we have our full yellow belt processor. Now, currently, of course, this thing is, well, maybe running at 20% or something like that, because we're not really mining enough over there. But this over here is set up to consume a full yellow belt of the ore. And if we take a look at it, every second we eat 5 chromium ore over here, and we get 1 chromite grade 1. These sorters over here require half a chromite grade 1 per second and turn that into 1.5 chromite sand per second. Or if you have 2 of them, 1 chromite per second and 3 chromite per sand per second. So this is a natural 1 to 2. And on the other side, we've got the smelter over here, and the smelter over there, he requires 15 chromite sand every 5 seconds. That is 3 chromite sand per second. And if we have a look at this, 2 of these together make 3. So that's natural 2 to 1. So you get this natural pattern over here, which is very lovely. And this thing has been running for a while. We already have quite a bit of chromite over here. It's just going into a chest for now, which is fine. Every now and then we pick something up over here, because at the moment we only need it for power poles. Later on we do need it for other stuff, and chromite is going to be a very important material in the pipe process. At least it was so in the previous playthrough. It could be that things have changed, but chromium was always one of the things that you always needed quite a lot of. So chromium processing is very much important. Also, we learned of a fun trick you can do, and that is the following. If you have a look over here, we got over here our input pipes, or this machine over here. It has 4 inputs for carbon dioxide. We make the carbon dioxide over there, and it all goes in over here in this pipe, filling up this machine. But we have a pump over here, and this pump is connected to the output over there, or the input over there, and turns that into an output. So we can actually pump out carbon dioxide out of the machine over here with a pump and put it into a pipe. Which means the carbon dioxide that this machine over here gets comes actually from this machine, and the carbon dioxide that this machine gets comes from this machine. And that's a nice little trick. This might enable us to make some builds a little bit smaller, a little bit more nicer. We will have to see. Of course, it would be, in my opinion, better if we just could do something like this and just stick them together like this, and then just let them pass through or something like that. That would be better in my opinion. But yeah, that's fine. I like that. I like that a lot. Good. Also, for the full chromium process, we of course over here need sand casts and limestone. Limestone, yeah, we make it over there. We make it on site. As for the sand casts, we do get stone as a byproduct, but the stone that we get as a byproduct is not enough to sustain the sand cast requirement over here. So we had to augment it with some other stone, and we already had some gravel coming out from over here from our antimony processing. And we just moved over here into our jaw crusher to make more sand, to make sure that we can make some more nice sand casting units over here. Good. And did we do anything else? Well, we can get the highlighter out again and make sure that this train station over here is nicely lit up. But I think that is everything. We did put in a whole bunch of names. We were very busy in putting name in the game this time around, which enjoyed myself quite a bit with. No, I don't think we did anything else. The arc thingy over there we did the last time around, and I don't think there was anything changed over here. The mad scientist lab is still the mad scientist lab. This over here is all over there. Yeah, one thing we did kind of change is over here. It used to be that our tar processor over here was running non-stop all the time. With the liquids that we put out, it was able to make more than enough steam to keep the cycle going and going and going and going. And at some point in time, we came over here and took a look, and we noticed that the whole cycle over here has broken down and nothing was working anymore. And the main reason for that is because the anthracene oil over here, we kind of not used it for steam anymore. We now use it over here for crafting. So that was kind of taking away some speed from this machine. And not only that, the creosote we were burning off over here is not being burned off anymore because nothing is backed up anymore. So that also caused less steam to go around and around and around. So what we ended up doing is we just added some random steam boilers over here, where we just take the coke that's coming from these machines and take the coke that is coming from these machines over here. We got the same amount of steam boilers over here, and that they just make some extra steam and just try to top off the steam cycle we have over here, just so that we can keep these machines going over here, which is fine. And I think we also ended up burning off pitch over here. If the pitch over here backs up, the pitch also has a fuel value, and we can also burn it over here in an oil burner. So things over here should be running non-stop. And I think they are. Currently, we are a little bit behind on tar, and that makes a lot of sense because these machines over here still don't really keep up with everything. Good. Perfect. But at least it's still spinning. At least we're still making creosote, and the creosote tank over there is filling up very nicely. Also, the creosote over here is going through the overflow pipe, which means that this machine over here can make more creosote boards, which we do need to make more circuits. Perfect. I think that's it. That was a very successful stream today, which means next Monday we are going to continue this, and we are going to focus down bots, because I do want my construction bots. We already just had the technology research, and let me just show that to you real quick, which was over here. We now also have the circuit network, so we can now finally also make wires, and we can make combinators, which, oh, they need batteries. What the fuck? Okay, we can't make combinators yet, but we can almost make combinators, which I'm very much looking forward for. We're also slowly but surely getting into the region of going into the power plant. So we are almost at the alternative energy content, especially over here, the coal power and stuff like that. But I'm still kind of curious to see about the salt thingy, and we still have to find salt. Nevertheless, that will be it for today. If you do like what you see, please do leave a like, a follow, a comment, a subscription. Every one of those actions does help me out in growing this YouTube channel to something bloody amazing. You can also find me on twitch.tv/BoldViking, where we do even more Factorio. I think we play Pyanodons over there. I have heard rumors. We also play Rimworld, a lot of that over there. GTFO. GTFO is back. And Valheim is currently back in, which I'm very much happy about. And without further ado, I wish you all an amazing evening. And until next time, see you around!